phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
So far this 2021 college football season, we have seen two Heisman preseason contenders get benched. A team that was without a doubt expected to win their conference now fall to 4-3, and UTSA having a historic season being 8-0. This is B. Kelly back again with another banger video. In today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about 5 players that are having breakout seasons so far in the 2021 campaign. And before I move on with the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now, let's get into it. The first player I am going to be talking about in today's video is Pitt starting quarterback Kenny Picket. Now, before 2021, I would say Kenny Picket wasn't the most eye-popping quarterback out there, but he was still a solid quarterback as a whole. As I say, he was above average. His best season before 2021 was in 2019, where in 12 games played, he completed 62% of his passes, threw for 3,098 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. So far in 2021, he has completely flipped the script, and he looks like one of the best quarterbacks out there right now. And if he keeps up his play, he might be a Heisman finalist, and maybe, just maybe, even win the Heisman. So far in his 2021 campaign, he has played in 7 games where he's completed 69% of his passes, thrown for 2,236 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. He also has 3 touchdowns on the ground as well. And Pitt is playing great football so far, as they are a top 25 team with a record of 6-1. Pickett's draft stock has been improving as well, as a lot of the quarterbacks in this draft that were seen as top quarterbacks have kind of been struggling this season, and their stocks have fallen. And with the success this season of Kenny Pickett, his stock has been rising. Next up, I have Western Kentucky wide receiver Jareth Stephens. Now, before he was at Western Kentucky, he was at Houston Baptist, which is an FCS school, from 2018 to 2020, and he was a good receiver there as well. His best season at Houston Baptist was in 2019, where he had 106 total receptions in that season for 867 yards, averaging 8 yards per reception, and 9 total touchdowns through the air. For the 2021 season, Stephens would transfer to Western Kentucky, and he has been, I would say, an under-a-radar receiver this year, but he's definitely been a top receiver as well. He needs more attention on his name with the way he's playing. So far in his 2021 campaign, he has 83 receptions for 1,077 yards, averaging 13 yards per reception and 10 touchdowns. A lot of people are talking about Drake London for the Biletnikoff this year, but honestly, a lot of people need to talk about Stephens a lot more. This guy leads the nation in receiving yards, receptions, and is tied in first place as of the recording of this video for receiving touchdowns at 10. Jareth Stephens is a straight-up baller. On to the next player. Just like Kenny Pickett, this guy was not really expected to be in any Heisman conversation at all in the preseason, but now he is seen as a Heisman contender, and that's none other than Michigan State starting running back Kenneth Walker III. Before his time at Michigan State in 2021, Kenneth Walker was at Wake Forest, where he was a good running back there as well. He would spend the 2019 and 2020 seasons as a member of the Demon Deacons football team, and in his time there, he had 217 carries for 1,158 yards, averaging an impressive 5 yards per carry, and 17 total touchdowns on the ground, and 0 touchdowns through the air. Heading into the 2021 season, he would transfer from Wake Forest to Michigan State, and he has not disappointed so far, as in 7 games played in the 2021 campaign of his, he has 152 rushing attempts for 997 total rushing yards, averaging an impressive 6.6 yards per carry, and 9 total touchdowns on the ground, as well as a touchdown through the air. All-purpose-wise, he has 1,022 yards and 10 total touchdowns. Michigan State currently sits at 7-0, and they are currently ranked 8th in the AP poll. Coming off a season last year where they were not one of the top Big Ten teams at 2-5, this is a big step up, and Kenneth Walker has really helped the Spartans' offense in that regard, as well as the team. Switching over to the defensive side of the ball, I am going to be talking about LSU linebacker Damone Clark. Every season so far in Damone Clark's career at LSU, he has constantly been improving year in and year out. For example, in 2019, in 14 games played, he had 50 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks. In 2020, in 9 games played, he had 63 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. But so far in 2021, he has the most tackles out of everybody in the NCAA, and he's really solidifying himself as a top linebacker in college football. In 8 games played so far this season, he has 98 total tackles, 56 of them being solo, 6.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 pass deflection, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 forced fumbles. The guy is on one this season. The LSU Tigers so far this season have been quite on and off, as they currently sit at 4-4, but one of the biggest bright spots on this team this season is 100% Damone Clark, as he's really starting to look like a top linebacker right now, and he could even be one of the top linebackers taken in the 2022 NFL Draft if he declares. Going back to the offensive side of the ball for this final player I'm going to be talking about, I am going to be talking about a top wide receiver right now in college football, and that's none other than USC wide receiver Drake London. In 2019 and 2020, London showed a lot of potential for USC to be their next great star wide receiver in the future, as in 2019, as a freshman in 8 games played, he had 567 yards and 5 touchdowns, averaging almost 15 yards per reception, and in the shortened 2020 season, in only 6 games played, he had 502 receiving yards for 15 yards per reception and 3 touchdowns. But this season in 2021, he has solidified himself as one of the best wide receivers in all of college football. Someone who might win the Biletnikoff Award and is 100% going to be a Biletnikoff finalist. So far in 7 games played, on 79 receptions, he has 1,003 yards, averaging almost 13 yards per reception, and 5 total touchdowns through the air. USC is struggling quite a bit this season with a record of 3-4, but that's not stopping London from balling out. London is their go-to option on offense. He leads the team in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns in every category. And the second guy closest to him in the receiving side of things is Taj Washington, who has 24 receptions for 309 yards and 1 touchdown. That's the second closest guy to him. Nobody else is close to him at all, and not even Washington's very close to him. And you can really expect London to keep balling out this season. If you guys have made it this far in the video, comment something down below of who else is having a breakout season this year, because I only talked about 5 guys, and there's definitely more than 5 players who are having a breakout season. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.